So I guess if you had to tell somebody that was thinking of donating or going to that place, what would you tell them?
Because she started saying she's got like little voice monitors and recording shits everywhere. Like they weren't forcing him, but they were saying some stuff that kind of just didn't sit right with him and pissed him off. And he snapped and he said, you know what, I'm leaving, you know.
There you go. I mean, Miss Martha, she comes and checks on us, you know, she makes sure we got what we need and whatnot. And she said her husband, Ronnie, worked with him at Piedmont. He's like, he's like, oh yeah, I know how to do the job. And he'd get like 7 calls in an hour, like, hey, how do you do this? Or like, hey, how do you do that?
Oh my God.
This, that, and the third. And he's like, dude, I thought you knew what you were doing.
Oh,
I mean,
and all that nonsense.
Honestly, talking to Kevin and his wife too wouldn't really be a bad idea.
Cool.
Kevin, I know for a fact, is very upset about how things have turned out. We were sitting at McDonald's after we had left the village, and we haven't really talked to Kevin much since we left, and all that. So he popped up on us one day and just sat with us and talked. And
he's like, my kids.
You know, basically told us, like, you know, I didn't want you guys, because he said he was riding down the road and he was thinking about us, and like he didn't want us thinking like we're mad at him because he brought us there and it was all false and not true, and none of the things that were promised happened. And you know, he didn't want us being mad at him, you know, and
he about broke down.
He didn't know it. He sat there on the brink of tears, like the man had to, you know, fix himself because he felt bad. Like all he was doing was trying to help us, you know, through that, because he doesn't have the means to do things like that. You know, he has a job, you know, a family and all that to take care of. You know, he's a pastor. You know, he's busy. You know, he can't do things like that, and I understand that. But he felt bad because he basically brought us empty promises, convinced us to go, but you know, he didn't know it. You know, like he was supposed to be like helping them and all that, but they didn't let him help, and he caught on to that too. Like he couldn't really do anything to help, and anything he tried to do, they were against it in such a way. Basically, all he did was, you know, find people to bring him there, and and while we were there,
the air match.
there was only 2 church services. One before we left, he was trying to have, but he had matters to attend to, and he had texted her, you know, to make sure it was okay if he sent one of his deacons there to, you know, have the church service in the afternoon. It was like 4 or 5, you know, at 6 at the latest to have the church service, and they didn't get back to him until 10 p.m. that night. You know, he said, yeah, that's fine. And, you know, Kevin's like, well, a little late for that now.
12 hours ago.
You know, like basically just blew him off all day, and then said yes later, knowing that it was, you know, it was too late. I'm pretty sure it's because Kevin was there one day, and they had that camera on top of the camper, and he was there asking us, you know, questions about it, because he was catching on, he was curious, so he came there and started asking us about it, and asking questions about, you know, what's happening with the donations, like, are you guys getting stuff, you know, what's happening with IDs, where are these donations going, and all those questions.
So he caught on, basically.
You know, telling him what was going on, and then they caught on that he was catching on, and then he basically wasn't allowed back, and after they kicked us out, they blocked him, and you know, he can't go back there and all that other stuff.
Wow.
So
yeah, they blocked me, Jennifer, and Kevin, and didn't block Chris from their Facebook page.
Yeah, they blocked her from their Facebook page, but they didn't block me. Like,
yeah, he was on that.
Make that make sense. I'm the one that can't shut the fuck up. She just said.
Yeah, I said some stuff, but
you was talking to a person like that wasn't in front of a camera and all that other good stuff. Because she started saying she's got like little voice monitors and recording shits everywhere, and yeah, they do. But she was saying she had like little like recording chips or whatever, you know, hidden.
Really?
That she could hear you talking with.
Deanna was saying that?
Yeah, that's just because she couldn't admit that, you know, they were just watching us on the camera, and whatnot.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure she had a rap.
As a matter of fact, it was funny because the night that she drug tested us, and we all failed. So she had seen us on the camera walking down the hill towards the river and whatnot, but she didn't see us smoking. But yes, we were down there smoking THC out of the gas station there.
Right.
And you know, that night she called everybody. It was like 8 o'clock at night. Like we was all in our pajamas and getting comfy and stuff. And she called us out there in the cold, in the rain and shit, to do that piss test. And everybody failed, but like 3 or 4 people. Well,
She
it was
said
3, and then she didn't admit that the 4th person actually passed. Told
Yeah,
everybody
that
he
one
failed.
was
Yeah,
secret.
yeah, that was a secret. He failed. Ronnie tried to get me to snitch on everybody else. So he asked me, you know, like, well, who was down there smoking and whatnot. I told him straight up, yeah, because my smart ass self took the fucking piss test back to him and said, here, save that. I'm not gonna pass this. Right, like, yeah, like I'm not even gonna waste the thing. What you said? It's $60. Y'all need that money more than me, apparently. First time, there was only one person that came in that she piss tested coming in, which was Chad, and then everybody else was just that one random. Then she started searching bags and stuff like that. She was kind of like making it up as she goes.
Oh, the other drugs too. We got
Oh,
the
yeah.
night of the drug test.
Yeah. But like, she said when you get here, you know, you got your first 4 days and just lay around and sleep and just sleep it off and sweat it out. And I said, well, you know what? I never got my 4 days. Then I told her that. I said, I never got my 4 days. I said, I'm going back to bed.
Yeah, that one was not.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean we all get 4 days? I didn't get mine.
Right?
Honestly, he seemed like kind of like dick to me. Yes, we did.
Yeah,
like,
that's about.
Like he was all with them, like, you know, don't touch packages and yada yada yada. I gotta record it.
But he was
Yeah,
trying to like give out the power boxes and stuff. You know, make sure each tank gets one.
Well, he was.
Contract.
Well, I think he was only doing that because he didn't know at the time that they weren't giving them all to us.
Wow.
Because, you know, quite literally right after that, it was all about it. And she also tried to say too she was gonna take all of our knives and axes and hatchets and stuff. And I said, I wish you would try. First of all, the axe I had was a gift. You're gonna have to pry that out of my hands. And well, really all my knives were a gift too. And I don't take gifts lightly. You know, when I get gifted something, I keep it.
Like you carry it with you every day because you don't know what's gonna happen out there.
Right.
And, I mean, protection or not, I mean, I don't need no damn knife or no protection, but you're not taking my stuff.
Yeah.
Like everything that I own pretty much behind and just bring clothes and what I needed. Yeah, they said only bring what you need, you know. Your clothes,
Can't worry about it. Donate it to another homeless dude or something.
you know, stuff that you need, or sentimental objects, whatever, and that's all you need to bring. And everything else is going to be provided. Clothes, blankets, pillows, hygiene stuff. Everything was supposed to be provided. So, in a sense, yes, but no. They just wanted to search everybody coming in.
Yeah,
Even
they
your
did
family,
question me about Victoria though, because she smelled like weed.
yeah, like she thinks she's the police. She want to search for shit and make sure they're not bringing anything in and all that good stuff. If you go out and come back, they want to search you. If you go out to the store and come back, she wants to search you. Like if you leave and come back, she wants to search you.
Really hear
Well,
that
I didn't
one
see.
time.
For me, I didn't really hear any of that because, well, I don't have family out here. I
Right.
got her and the kids. That's it.
Yeah.
She don't even have. Her family lives here. And she ain't even got family out here.
Oh yeah, well, he's the reason we're homeless in the first place.
We're homeless in the
Yeah.
first damn place. So
He said a chest bump to him.
ain't nobody coming to see us.
Left cops, came back with cops.
You know, like we lucky y'all came to see us.
That health-wise or like.
everybody's probation officer showed up. You know.
For the most part, probation officers showed up, but then got probation too. You know, you got to go there. They can't just always come to you.
Right.
You know,
And people
people were
having to reschedule.
like having to reschedule, scared to death they were going to miss it.
Oh, God,
warrants and,
Wow.
violations, and they said, well, we're not responsible for making sure you get to your probation and you get to the grocery store or any other store, a ride or whatever. And that was another thing we were told too. Kevin told us, like rides were provided. If you needed to go anywhere, they provide a ride and make sure you got there. But they told us, no, we're not responsible for getting
And
you a
then
ride or
they
anything.
had an excuse, well, we're getting a bus donated or a van, and once we get that, and that was like 2 weeks past since Still no van.
There was no van that I ever see now. Apparently they have one
They
now.
got one now, yeah.
He does.
Their excuse was we're too busy. You know, we can't take y'all to the store and whatnot. But you can't take 30 minutes out of your day to.
No, we're doing God's work. We're trying to help you.
No, they don't have jobs. I never seen DSS show up there. Just probation, the cops. No, she like they would see somebody walk in and have a backpack or look homeless, and she would stop and try and pick them up, or she would also go, like
let's go.
she would also go to the courthouse, try to from what she said, and the courthouse was helping her, get people fresh out of jail to come there that were homeless and whatnot. And it just in my opinion, she's using the homeless for profit. That's all it is. That's why she had John Ward there. She took all of our stories or testimonies, if you will, and used those to get donations for herself. Make people feel bad for us so that she could get donations.
Damn.
Like when we had our first interview with John Ward, we were told that we're allowed to set up a GoFundMe account and all this and that.
For yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
and she said, well, we don't accept money or cash donations, but you guys can do what you want to do. A week later, she was mad that we all set up GoFundMes. And she said, I wasn't going to.
Oh, good.
It drives about it.
Good.
Still in it.
Yeah, it drives
And like the day before she complained about it, she passed Ronnie a wad of cash. And I don't think she realized I was going to pay.
Wow.
Wow, damn.
Yep.
Close.
It was everything that I was told about going there never happened. It was just part of a cult, is how I felt.
Part of a cult.
Literally, the day he said it, I went over to Queen Dave's camp and he's like, I think they're running a cult.
Like,
Yeah.
what they say when they say it. I mean, you get when they say jump, you gotta say how high. You can't go off and do what you want to do. Can't leave the camp. Well, we were at the campground. You can't leave there to go walk. You can't walk to the stores. Which even the police did eventually come in and say, just don't do it because of all the problems with the locals and
Kind of like lay low.
I get it. Like, we was
I'm gone. Like 20 feet that way.
we was talking to other people that were staying there in the campers that have been there and don't have nothing to do with those two. And, like a couple that she met, they often, give us rides and all this other good stuff. So she got a ride from them one night, go out and get cigarettes and come back and barely going 30 minutes. And she comes back and she's hollering at her going, don't be asking for rides from people and don't be knocking on people's doors and, just stay away from the people up in the campers. And
she came to volunteer one day and me, her and Sheila went to wherever to get groceries, and she left the kids with me because it's a natural mom's no. And then Deanna's like cussing. She's like,
and I
if I was her, I wouldn't leave my kid with complete strangers and just bad mouthing her.
She had asked for something she needed from like the pantry, silverware, plates and silverware and stuff. And so I said, Kayla's up here cooking dinner for everybody. She just needs silverware and plates and stuff. And she said she wasn't even supposed to come up here and cook tonight. Somebody else was supposed to do it. Nobody else ever showed up to cook.
She just want to keep her away.
Yeah.
At first.
Well, at first, but no, she. No, I don't like her.
Heard through the grapevine, she got kicked out because she had her own intentions.
I don't know. I felt like she was not really much different than them, to be honest. I don't know what her intentions or plans were, but I know
they kicked her out.
She wasn't a whole lot better. Now, granted, she tried to cook a meal every night for everybody, but she needs to at least learn what some salt and pepper is. She made us some damn chicken and dumplings one night, and it was more bones than anything else. She didn't even get bones out of it. But that's just talking shit. It was just like that day we were there was ladies from Indiana came to that trailer and told us, outside of Ronnie and Debbie, I want you guys to come in and pick out stuff you need, and getting stuff, and came rolling around the corner for me, get away, y'all don't need a trailer, got enough, telling us, y'all don't need this stuff, let other people get stuff at the same time, but telling us to get away from it, get out of there and stop taking stuff, and that made me mad. Getting stuff from me.
Yeah, the lady that couldn't help.
Like I was helping them. There's some older ladies, they're climbing around in this trailer that is all discombobulated and stuff's everywhere, and like It was
And
a
they're like
mess.
4 foot nothing.
A little bit older than the other, but yeah, they were older ladies, you know, probably 50s, and maybe a little bit older, just guessing. But I was trying to help them out and move heavy stuff, get stuff out of there, see what was in there, and then see what people needed and wanted. So and she came through there and told me to get out of the way and stop, and you know, and she started getting into it and started, you know, grabbing stuff and taking stuff out of there. And I was watching her, I think it was her grandson that was there that day too.
Oh yeah.
And she's handing stuff to him to go take up to her camper and put in his truck and stuff. Pissed me off, and that's probably why they kicked us out too, because I called them all a bunch of fucking Nazis.
I mean, a few things that she did bring were for that couple with the baby.
Like,
other than that.
I mean, I did. I called them all a bunch of Nazis, and that's how I felt. That's how I felt. From what I hear, it's eBay that she uses, but I mean, obviously she would like. I doubt she'd have it in like
I doubt she'd be dumb enough to read
a recognized name or anything. Yeah, you know, something like that. But yeah, from what I've eBay, I mean, how you could even do the fucking local marketplace on Facebook.
Yeah, we've looked at
So
it.
she told us she doesn't use Facebook and all that good stuff, but I found multiple Facebook accounts.
Magically had one that popped
Yeah,
up.
so and it's easy just to make a new Facebook with a new name, and just I mean, no time to figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't use Facebook and whatnot like that, and then I find her Sisters in Christ page at first, and well, she's on that a whole lot, and then her other Facebooks start emerging.
I mean, Google's a very good thing.
I mean,
Right.
It's not hard to use.
Exactly,
Literally
that's what we
says
always say
permanent.
too. Like anyone can type some words on, you know, to Google.
It's not hard to use Google. I mean, you quite literally have all of the world's information at your fingertips. You know, like a good chunk of the day unwrapping her.
You know, like a good 7 hours is just that.
So I guess if you had to tell somebody that was thinking of donating or going to that place, what would you tell them?
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Nobody gets any of the
False
donations.
promises.
The people that are there at the village don't get the donations. The people that she's claiming to be helping don't get the donations. There was one occasion where she straight cleaned the food pantry of almost everything, loaded up a whole dump trailer full of everything out of that pantry, and I mean, everything was overflowing to the top and like full. Couldn't put no more in there. And apparently she took it to some other
Maggie Valley.
Maggie Valley or whatever. But that was all for the camera and all that good stuff, I assume.
I mean, which you could
that
really
is
be mad
the,
at, 'cause, you know.
Well, that's the only time I've heard of her donating or seen her donating when I was there.
Doing a good deed.
As far as that, everything else just got taken away immediately. You were told not to touch it, look in it, or take anything, but you were made to help put it on the trailers and the truck and whatnot to be taken out. That camper they had there was full from floor to ceiling, the entire thing from front to back of Amazon packages. It was packed, tight.
Situation too.
Yeah, I wouldn't take anything without getting a title. If it's not mine, I don't want it, and I would tell her that.
Because she would sign the titles back over.
She's easy to just take it. If you don't have the title, it's not yours. You can't, like even a bill of sale doesn't help you.
Yeah.
It just.
And we told Ryan, make sure you sign that.
Ryan, he got his title. He made sure he wasn't dumb. He got it. He got his title.
Oh, I love how he got his too.
And he made her do like a gift of sale or something of the sorts. Where she,
yeah, it was like a gift.
Signed and notarized, or not really notarized, but signed that she was gifting this to them and all that. Ryan ain't dumb.
How he went out was pretty cool too.
Yeah, he so they were trying not to make him leave. Like they weren't forcing him, but they were saying some stuff that kind of just didn't sit right with him and pissed him off. And he snapped and he said, "You know what? I'm leaving. Like fuck this shit. I got somewhere I can go, and y'all can suck my dick, lick my." Ronnie, he didn't do shit, say shit, or act like he was gonna do something. But after Ryan left and all that, he started talking shit, talking about, "Well, ain't nobody gonna talk to my wife like that." And
he should have spoken to me instead of her.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, if somebody would have spoken to my wife like that, I'd be sitting in a jail cell right now.
And he did all that and got a camper.
Yeah, he got a camper. They
Probably
gave him a camper.
Quiet.
They gave him a camper, a generator for it, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Ryan was telling us like his cousin or something is
the sheriff.
Is the sheriff.
Oh shit.
So,
pretty high up, and I mean, so I mean, they would give him a camper, set him up, because we didn't get no camper. We were told not to take nothing.
Because
Like,
apparently they've been
they,
run out of. They're not supposed to be operating out of.
when we were told to leave, we didn't get all that.
Yeah, we got a thanks for being here. Bye.
Like Ronnie was trying to make us walk.
In the middle of the night.
Like he didn't want us to wait for a ride or whatnot. He wanted us, like we got told like we're trying to find a ride out of here, and like we just need a little bit of time. And he says, well,
It would have been an 8 hour.
y'all need to be out of here today and leave and whatnot. And they're like, yeah, I know, but like, I mean, I don't want to be here no more. I've had enough. I didn't want to be here from 3 weeks ago.